Okay, here we go. Sorry I'm a couple minutes late. We've had some technical issues, and now I have a cat who is insisting on some attention. We'll try to ignore him. I'm talking about immigration in this, in this little rant, I think, and the way that we're being gaslighted in regard to immigration. Now, gaslighting. What is that? Well, there's a movie from the 50s, I think. It's a great movie called Gaslight. Ingrid Bergman is in it, and it's like I think she won the Oscar for it, if not a nomination. It's an amazing movie where basically everyone around her is telling her things that aren't true and telling her she forgot to do this when she really did it, or that she didn't do this when she didn't even have to do it, or they just basically kept giving her information that was false but telling her it was true, and then taking things that she knew to be true and falsifying those, and mixing truth from fiction. That's what gaslighting is, and it's what the Republican Party's been doing for a year now, since 2017, pretty strongly. And as I go along, if you have any questions, I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat screens, etc. So we'll see how I can do there. This morning, well, before I talk about this morning, let me talk about what happened last Thursday. Last Thursday, well, let's go back even further. I believe it was Wednesday when Trump had that meeting around the table, and he had the cabinet meeting, and he actually televised it for 50 or 55 minutes to prove to America that he could run a meeting, I guess. What he did in that meeting, the thing that really stood out is that he waited for someone to lob out something that he could say yes or no to, and he jumped on it, and that's fine. But this is the problem with this president, is that he just says yes to the last person that he hears. And if you're lucky enough to be the last person he hears before he jumps out, before he comes out and says something, then you're the one that's going to get the plus side of things. This is weird, and it sounds crazy and strange, but it is what it is. And that's what it is. So on Wednesday he did his thing around the table, and he talked to, and Dianne Feinstein popped out and said, "Well, we need a clean DACA bill. That's something really easy we could do." And Trump said, "Agreed." And he said, "Yes, that does sound good. We can do a clean DACA bill." And then the people around the table around him started grumbling a little bit, and he said, "And then we can move on to something. We can move on to we need to do DACA now. We can move on to more immigration, like the next day or like an hour later." He said, right? He's on board. He used words like, "I want this thing to have heart. I want this to be a immigration system with heart." I'm not saying he's a neat guy or anything, but I'm saying that he knows what he thinks health insurance should look like, and the GOP, the Republican leadership right now, is telling him that that's what's happening and that's what they're working on. But it's not what they're working on, and he believes them. And since they're the last ones in his ear and what have you. So Wednesday, I had this thing. Dianne Feinstein says, "Let's go ahead and do a clean DACA." Trump says, "Yes, clean DACA makes sense. We can do that right away. We can sweep right through, and then we can work on immigration even the same day if you want. We just need to keep moving ahead." One of the Republican sitting around the table, and I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time remembering his name right this moment. Kevin McCarthy, maybe. He says, "Oh, Mr. President, you want it to be like this." And he cuts him off and basically tells the president like 2 times. He says, "This isn't what, you don't want to do this. We want to do this along with it." And he's like, "Yeah, we'll do that next. Okay, let's go ahead." The guy cuts him off again and cuts him off. And so then Trump, is kind of quiet about it. Okay, what he did say was he'll sign any bill. He said, you guys put together an immigration bill. As long as you guys can come up with a bill, I'll sign it. He doesn't even care what it says. He came out and said he doesn't care what's in the bill, or implied it very strongly. All he wants is to be able to sign a bill. Dianne Feinstein threw out the DACA thing. He was happy to sign it, but then that all got backed up. So the next day, Thursday, a couple of senators. Now let me go back. A comprehensive immigration bill is what the GOP Republicans keep pretending. I mean, for a decade now, or probably 20 years, they've been pretending like they want to fix immigration and to come up with a system, but they never do, and it never gets done, and it's just something they use to dissuade us from doing anything else on immigration. We want to fix the DACA. No, they want to fix DACA, but they want a part of a comprehensive immigration plan. I'll tell you, I've been voting for 40 years, and I've heard the damn Republicans talk about comprehensive this and comprehensive that as a way to stop talking about what they're talking about now and not do the little thing right now that could help a bunch of people. Instead, in fact, that's like killing the good on behalf of the better. And they're never going to get to better. GOP doesn't intend to. They just say it. It's one of those things. And this is the gaslighting thing that's going on. So Thursday morning comes along, the next day after Trump said he'd sign anything. And a couple of senators come along. Dick Durbin and Lindsey Graham. There are two guys that have been around a long time that know the lay of the land. They know what's real and what's not, and they want to get this. And they want to. They go great. They go into his office at 10 o'clock on Thursday morning and show him what they've got. We've got an immigration plan. We've worked together across the aisle. Here we got a Democrat and a Republican senator standing right here with the plan in your office. What do you think? He says, great. They knew Trump was on board. They come out at 10 o'clock. They finish the meeting at 10 o'clock and start to write up the paperwork to get everything involved so the president can sign it and make this a done deal so we can move on to something else. And 2 hours later, 12 o'clock comes along, and Graham gets a phone call. I imagine Durbin got the call too. And they get a phone call to come on over to the office, to the president's, the Oval Office, I believe, and we'll meet about that DACA thing that we talked about this morning. So this is 2 hours later. They walk in, Graham and Durbin walk into a meeting, and they expect the president to be there. And the president's there. He's surrounded by hard-line immigration Republicans. Two of them are Tom Cotton and Duarte. I'm drawing... when I'm on the hook like this, I forget names sometimes. Well, the two guys that are lying now and saying that he didn't say shithouse or shithole or shit, now they're arguing about whether they said shithole or shithouse. When you say countries from an entire continent are a shithole or a shithouse or a shit for brains or shit anything, that's not just words. That's how the country looks at you. It's how the world looks at you. And so they come strolling in and they want to get their immigration thing done. And there's all these hardliner Republicans there going, well, no, we don't want to do that. We don't. And they back out of the whole thing and they turn it into it turned into this whole thing where they want to, where now they want to let people from certain countries in. You may or may not have heard that he said, why are we allowing all these people in from these shithole countries? We need people like from Norway. I'm not making this up. Yesterday, when she was being questioned by Congress, the Homeland Security chief couldn't remember what they said. She said there was strong language, but she couldn't remember whether they said shithole or shithouse or shit anything. When Durbin asked specifically what he had said, she says something. Kirsten, I can't remember her last name now. It's a Danish name. She acted like she didn't know that people from Norway are mostly white. I mean, people have made fun of the fact that her name is Kirsten, Krjsten, or something like a Norwegian spelling, but it's not the same. A Danish spelling name, but Danish and Norwegian are not the same, and that's kind of a funny little side thing that people have been trying to make a point of, but it's not real. Okay, so he goes in. Now they all want to talk about. Now they all back away from everything, and this is the problem with the president: is that he makes deals. This is the second deal that he made with the Democrats to finish DACA, and that he backed out of shortly thereafter. This time was 2 hours later. Lindsey Graham, you should look up. I should find some stuff that Lindsey Graham talked about. He was really pissed about this. He, in fact, came right out during the meeting and called the president out on it. Told him to quit calling countries shitholes, and he just laid into them in this meeting. And the Republicans in the room don't remember much of this meeting. They don't. This is like 24 hours earlier. They don't remember much of this. They don't remember exactly what they said. But now Cotton is saying that he didn't say anything. That it's all made up. You got he's a Republican. Lindsey Graham, who doesn't tend to right out lie to you, like lie. Other than the his weird turnaround on Trump, on supporting Trump, that probably has to do with the compromat on him. He's gay and he doesn't think that people know or could care less about it. And he thinks that people will hate him for it and will vote him out of Congress or something. And that's what people are thinking might be the compromat on him, the blackmailing information. He turned hard a couple of months ago, and it has to do with information. These guys are all in trouble for money laundering and RICO charges, and that's what Mueller's working on. Mueller. So back to this again. Basically, Lindsey Graham has come out in the meantime and said, "Look, a shit house, a shit hole. What we have here is a shit show." Literally, I heard him say that yesterday on TV. He's had it. People that are saying that aren't only in it for all the cash they can get, which is very few people in Congress. I hate the stupid auto-loading audio things. The immigration thing. Here's the deal: is that the DACA. Who are DACA? Who are the dreamers? Who are the dreamers? Dreamers are people who came here and were brought here as children and raised here. And there's an example of a guy that was deported yesterday. He was 39 years old. He was brought here when he was 9 by his parents, or by a parent. I'm not sure which. Showed up at 9 years old. He went to school, went to college, worked, got married. He got married. He did. Where was I? I was on the Dreamer thing. Okay, had a job paying taxes. They deported him yesterday. He's 39 years old. He's been here 30 years paying taxes. He has a family, he has kids. They work. They go to school. They pay taxes. And what they're doing is they take this guy yesterday and they deport him to a country he's really never been to. He was there up until he was 9, but take a guy that's been in America for 30 years and ship him to a country he's never even known. What's he going to do? He's going to get off the bus, and now he's a homeless guy who's worse off than even the white people that are voting for Trump out in the Midwest that don't realize what they're doing. It's important that you look up your own research and that you figure out what you're doing and what you want. The immigration thing, yes, it'd be great to get a comprehensive immigration, but don't get sucked up into the gaslighting and lies that the GOP, the Republicans, are doing these days. Look, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. 42% of Americans identify as no party preference. That's almost twice either what the Democrats or the Democratic or Republican parties have. They have, like, in the 20s, they're the people that identify with them. But a vast majority of Americans identify as no party preference. We don't care about Democrats and about Republicans. We want the frickin' country to work right. We want you to treat people right, humans right. Okay, I've had it. That's enough for now. I'm going to do something on something else here in a minute. Probably just about the gaslighting and lies in particular. Have a great day, and hope everything goes well for you as I shut everything down.